What's up, y'all? Today is super freaking exciting. We're gonna install some internet stuff today. Now, when we're out on the road, there are all sorts of ways that you can gather internet. One of the ways is to just use your telephone. That's right, use your smartphone, and you can use the data on your phone to connect things like your laptop to the internet. Or you can get all sorts of different boosters, and you can get satellite dishes. There's all sorts of different ways to get internet while out on the road. And today we have a fun little project to install our omnidirectional antenna. Now this thing is going to go on the roof, and it's got a few wires that come off the back. We have a booster. So this is an LTE booster. This is an inline booster. It's similar to a Wii Boost, but this is a Wii Boost basically on steroids. This is what the pros use for things like ATM machines, fire trucks, ambulances, police services. This is used for like boosting the cell phone signal. So the LTE, the 4G, I think this one even does 5G. You've got that sort of phone that accepts 5G now. So this has the capability of putting 2 SIM cards into it, so it can boost whatever cell phone signal, and then you can also have a data source. So you know how phones definitely run out of gigabytes of data. I know that we run out of gigs all the time, especially when we're uploading videos. I'll show you how it's all connected, and of course we'll have links to where we got these in the description below. So for the place of installation, the antenna is going to go on the roof of the vehicle, up top, up front, away from other components so that there's no interference, nothing covering it. Perfect line of sight to the sky. That should be a good spot for it as per our consultation with the 5G store where we got all this stuff. And then the other 2 components will be mounted right inside, right above where the driver's sitting, right over there, and we'll be able to turn them on and off as we need them. So we'll install a switch on those also eventually, but to get started today, we'll test it out with our little Goal Zero battery so that we could just power it up, make sure it works, and then we've got to figure out which wires we need to run a line to our 12-volt DC fuse block, which is down in the basement next to all of the Victron and Battleborn components. So if you're anything like us who work out on the road, you do internet stuff all the time on the road, upload videos to YouTube, graphic design, web design, any sort of thing where you need the internet, there's all sorts of different ways to install crazy systems. We went with a very simple route. It was hard to understand at first, but then once we started learning the terminology, and a huge thanks to Erin at Broccoli Bus, you can check out their Instagram, and then they also have a website. Erin was a wealth of knowledge, wealth of information. We really want to thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to explain how this stuff works. So appreciate it, guys. Before we go and install all these components, I kind of want to just give you a bird's eye view of what they each do. Now, this is the mobile mark antenna. It has 2 LTE cords, so 2 phone cords that come out of it, 1 GPS cord, and then also 1 Wi-Fi cord. If you look on the back that's all that comes with. That goes up on the roof. It goes through the roof with a 7/8 inch hull. You loosen the nut, put this through the roof, and it needs a 1 square foot ground plane, so clear area of metal around it. So the roof, considering this is on a Skoolie, there's plenty of room around it. 14 inches is where the solar panels start, so we've got plenty of room around it. The next part is the PepWave Max BR1 mini router. So this thing here connects to the cables in the mobile mark antenna. You see a GPS, there's a cellular main, cellular auxiliary, and Wi-Fi, and then right here on the back there's also the A and B slot for the 2 SIM cards that you have to get. On the front side, there is the little jack for positive and negative wires for 12-volt DC hookup, so you could hardwire this in. It also have a LAN and console port and a LAN and WAN port with a DC in. So this guy here comes with the instruction manual right there. It also comes in the box, it comes with the antennas that you can use if you don't have one of these. Now, the downside to these antennas is they're not as powerful as this. It's got a GPS antenna, 2 cellular antennas, and the Wi-Fi antenna. It also comes with a 110 volt jack that you can plug in the DC in, and that basically transforms the 110, 120 volt down to 12 volts so that it can use it. We're going to hardwire ours in, so we're not going to use that. We're going to save it though, just in case we ever want to take this system and put it in another application. The last piece here is the Wilson Pro. So this guy here boosts the signal of the LTE or phone signal that comes in. On one side, you've got the data device. So this side here would connect to the PEPWave. And then you've got outside antenna on the other side. So that is going to hook to the mobile mark over here. And then you have the power. Now it comes with one power option. It comes with the bare-ended little device here, and it has an inline fuse. So the jack here would connect to the power port there on the side, and then you've got your positive and negative leads right there for hardwiring this into your application. This also comes with a cable that you can use to connect the data port on this side to the data port on the cellular main side over here. So if you're using just one SIM card in here, you would use the cellular main hooked up to the data port on the Wilson Pro. If you were using 2 SIM cards, the cellular main still hooks to the data port on the Wilson Pro, but the other antenna over here would go into the cellular auxiliary side. Now, the Wilson Pro also comes with a little antenna. So if you didn't have this big antenna over here, this little antenna would get stuck to the roof of the vehicle with this adhesive disc that it comes with. Now, this is not really the most robust antenna right here, which is why we're going with the souped up version. That's how the system all connects together. This is also a Wi-Fi router. So what happens here is, besides it being a modem, it takes the data signal that it's collecting, the LTE data, and it transmits it into a Wi-Fi signal so that your computer, like our laptop over there, our phones can all connect to this on the Wi-Fi aspect of this. And so that's why we're having this, is because we're able to get more data, more signal when we're further out. So this can amplify the signal more than your phone can. And that's why we're using a system like this. What's cool about this system is you can hook up all sorts of different things to it. Like if you wanted to set up a system where you can track your vehicle even when you're not there, this is capable of doing that. You just have to get the other peripherals hooked up to it so that you're able to use that functionality, and it can transmit it to your cell phone device. So this is a pretty sweet setup right here. I'm pretty excited to get it installed. So here's the back of the 2 lights, and there's a box that we're gonna create here so that we don't mount anything too close to them. We don't want to put pressure on them. So I marked exactly where the light ends, like where the ends are, and then I came back off of that just a little bit. And then from there we'll get a piece that goes vertical here, and then a piece here, and then a piece that's even further inset there. We'll do the same on this side because we've got 2 lights on this side as well. There's the back of one light, and here's the back of the other light right here. So that light ends right here. So I'm gonna put a mark here so that I know that the edge of that box needs to be here. And then we'll make another mark here, and then we'll cut out a piece that it mimics this shape so that the ceiling and the wall here goes up real nicely. We'll also screw this down to the front edge of the furring strip right here. So what that allows is to have another wall come off the back that's a little bit further back, not so quite forward from these ones over here. There's the light right there. You might have the wall just follow this right here, because this is the wire loom. Because this one doesn't need to be as deep. So potentially right there. And then we'll just make a square edge there and just follow that along. So I'm starting to tag this in here. We'll get another one right over here. All put together. Now let's take it inside and see if it fits. That'll be the key. Alright, feels like that. Oh, there it goes. Just tilt. Tilt. Nice. That'll work. Cool. Attach that there. I think once that's screwed in, it'll find its naturals. So far, so good, y'all. That looks like it fits pretty nicely. We'll get it all trimmed out and whatnot. These corner boxes look good. We'll screw it to the walls on the sides, and then also possibly we'll do some Craig jig screws here. So I might as well put those in before I get too crazy over here. Just because there's no way to access this from the back unless we unscrewed this and then Craig screwed it from the back side, which is a possibility. That is a possibility. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna unscrew this entire piece and then do the Craig screws on the back side. I think it'll be nicer. It'll look nicer long term, and this successfully slid in, so I'm not really too worried about getting it in again. So that's what I'll do. So now that all the backside has the Craig jig holes, got them, we did a double stack every about 12 inches or so. That way we don't have all of them on this side. Because originally I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put them on the front. I think that was laziness in me coming out. Sometimes I get just a little worn out from stuff. It's late right now. But I want this to be real nice. Erin's gonna love it. So this is a time that I don't cut corners. Might as well shine, take a breath, eat an orange. I already ate all my oranges. Had 3 of them. Little cuties, like those little mandarins. Delicious. Clementines maybe. All right, well, re-energized. So I'm gonna do that. But there's also this little spot here on the top where I drew this dotted line. I'm gonna just get that with the circular saw real quick. Just cause that little edge was a little bit tight, sliding it in. And with the base on, I don't want any problems. So I'll get that lopped off, and then we'll screw it on. Hi, honey. Hi, cutie. I was hoping to have this done by the time you got here, so that I could surprise you.
Cool, babe.
The next part's the cool part.
Putting it up. Wow.
This goes on there. Line the right side up here.
Wow.
And then this side goes here. And then we just kind of
Sweet.
do the Craig jigs all the way around. I knew she would love it.
I love it. Way to go, Garcia.
Thank you.
I think this design's great.
Thank you.
Smart design.
And it still can be pulled out. Like if we ever needed to pull it out,
You pull that whole piece out.
you pull the whole piece out because it's secured around the exterior
Right.
of this.
Would you have to pull the ceiling out to get it out?
Depends on how we do the ceiling going up to it.
I think worst case scenario, you take Wiggly Wiggly and you cut out a square
Yeah,
on each side.
that's a good idea.
Then you put them back up with magnets or something.
There we go.
That looks great.
It's all together. Whoa, that is sturdy now.
Woohoo!
Oh, this? It's the bulkhead.
Don't smash
Smash!
it.
Sorry, I was trying to be cool.
You're cool.
There we go. Like a glove.
Hooray!
Perfect.
Yay!
Nice.
Looks so good.
Here's the 1.5 inch that I'm using. They're countersunk, and they'll go so that they don't penetrate through.
Sweet.
Potentially something like this.
Cool.
Just because we need to be able to access what's on this side here. And we'll just screw those in place.
That's great.
And then both of them this one needs power here, while this one needs power here. So I was thinking that the power could potentially just come out here. But this one here, so the outside one goes to here, and then this one here needs to come back around over this side, but all the other stuff has to come through there. Haha.
This is where our decisions start getting more serious. Time to decide on what stain to use. I think we're gonna go with a dark walnut. I know it might seem kind of weird because we're doing the ceiling whitewash, but I think that doing this cabinet like a dark stain, just like lightly put on, would be really cool. And then have like really dark cabinet doors on it. So we're gonna give her a rip. Why didn't you guys tell me that I have soot all over my face? I look like I have a beard. Hope you don't see that on HD.
Okay, so for this technique, I'm taking a little bit of paint or stain out of the lid and a little cloth, and I'm gonna rub it on and I'm gonna rub it off. We're gonna see how that works. Hopefully we like it. We'll start over here first. Let's put a little dab on here. I'm gonna try this. Oh, I think that's going to be pretty nice. I'm using a clean cloth to wipe off the excess right away. I'm just kind of making sure I like it. Like a lot. So we'll have some nice edges on that. We don't need to stain that right now. The reason we need to get this done is because we need to put the Wi-Fi stuff up in here, run the cables up into the roof. We're trying to button up the roof. The next project you can look forward to, we're looking forward to a lot, is putting up the solar panels. There's gonna be a gland in the back, so that's why we can't finish the other end cap. We gotta run the wires down there. Then we can button up the ceiling. We can button up the insulation, and guess what? We'll be able to put up the ceiling panels. So everything in due time. Just be patient. It all comes together. It always seems like there's something else that you need to do before you can finish a project. So that's what we're trying to round up right now. We're trying to button up a few projects so that we can put the ceiling in, and then we'll have to do the water stuff so that we can finish buttoning up the edge of the wool. So anywhere where there's plumbing, we're gonna need to do plumbing tests, but we can't do plumbing tests, so we put the water filtration in and yada yada yada. So that's just how it is. But we're learning so much. So that's one of the joys of this whole project, is just getting to learn a ton of new things and use your brain to problem solve and just figure out how to do it all and what order to do it in. I'm working on something really fun. Check this out. So these doors right here, I have 3 of them. We got them at Restore when we bought the bus. Couldn't help it. I think they were like 15 bucks each or something. So worth it. I'm gonna sand the faces of them down. I'm gonna leave the center and then stain the outside.
We've got the jellyfish that's going on the roof.
No, not jellyfish.
It's not jellyfish. Okay, it's octopus.
It's giving me flashbacks of a time I'd rather forget.
Yeah, in Galapagos. If you haven't seen our Galapagos videos, you may want to. They're pretty fun. So each one of these wires or cables is 15 feet long, and they all have to go through that hole that we drilled last night maybe? Yeah. So I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna pass all these through to Erin, and there's a little nut here on the bottom. We gotta take the nut off first. There's a little slit in the nut so that you can pass the wires through. See, like that? That's pretty fancy, right? That way you don't have to put the wires all the way through. So I'm gonna set this up here because we'll need it up here in a spot that it won't get knocked over.
Oh, this is dry enough.
I'll head up to the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be good. All right. So we're gonna use this just 12 volt extension, and we're gonna hook it up to the Wilson Pro and then also the Pep Wave. We're gonna just wire them all together and plug them in here. And it should power up the system. Then we'll jump on the laptop and see if this thing works. I'll pick those up later, Erin.
Yeah, right.
Don't you worry about it.
Doubt it.
You know that there's a positive and negative. I actually can't see which one's positive and negative from right here. So let's see, get the camera and do selfie mode. Let's see. There it is. Positive is the top one, negative is the bottom. All right, good. So we'll throw this Red one is our positive.
I knew the selfie cam was good for something rather than duck lips.
I'm gonna have to clean up all of that, folks. All of it.
Or else you're in trouble.
I'm gonna get in trouble again. All right, so there's my positive for the Wilson. Wilson!
Oh, that was weird.
My positive for the Pep Wave.
Na pep wave.
All right, so the WeBoost has a 2 amp inline fuse. And I spoke with the tech support there at the 5G store, and they said that when running these to a fuse block, like we have down in the basement, to put them on a 5 amp fuse. So just so that they don't get over amped, like if a jolt happened or whatnot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a 5 amp fuse for it down there once we run the wires. This is just to test it, to get it set up, and we'll probably leave it like this for a little while until we get the 12 volt wiring, because we got several things that we need to wire on 12 volt. But this will be a good, like, temporary, the bus has internet sort of thing, hopefully. We've got some videos that we need to upload that we've not been able to upload because the internet at the house is kind of slow, and we can only really do one per night or one every 2 days or so, which is fine. Like,
I think they throttled us back.
I think we might have got throttled at the house. All right, so this is off. You see the lights on, that means it's on. Now it's de-energized. We've got, let's verify our connections. We've got all the negatives together. We've got all the positives together. And I feel pretty positive about this.
Oh my.
Pepwave, I don't think, has lights. Okay, we have lights. It says power, status green, green. Okay, so that's positive. Now let's grab the laptop and see if we have internet.
Now for the dorky stuff. We gotta set it up. Set up what we're gonna call our Wi-Fi. Like, you know, when it has a funny name, like Get Off My LAN, or what's another one? We got some new neighbors and they have really wacky internet Wi-Fi names. So we're gonna make something funny, but we can't tell you what it is.
All right, so as you see, there's no internet connection. We can go ahead and play the dinosaur game if we wanted to. That's a lot of fun. You just go, you jump over a cactus. Oh, already died. Okay, let's get back to it. So Wi-Fi, there is 0 Wi-Fi, but it shows my phone because I tether to my phone frequently, and it also shows the Pepwave. So we're gonna click on Pepwave. That's good. That means Pepwave has power, and it's working. All right, so now it's asking for the Wi-Fi password. Okay, so let's see what the Wi-Fi password is. All right, so this means that so now you see that it has the Wi-Fi connected. That just means that it's connected to the router. So now we've got to do some configuring. All right, so now it is obtaining IP address.
You get notifications.
Yeah, notifications are popping up. So additional LAN options is available for activation. Please click here for information.
I'd wait till that's done, but it might be worth seeing what that is.
Cellular, though, it's showing it's full here.
Sweet. You imagine if we just get super high speed internet?
I know, this would be totally awesome, y'all. This is so cool.